where news comes first. This is WECT News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. We thank you so much for watching tonight. I'm John Evans.
I'm Frances Weller. Continuing coverage tonight on the death of Misha Durham and the arrest of her alleged killer. Wilmington police charged Antonio Johnson with first-degree murder. Durham's body was found at Godwin Stadium along Shipyard Boulevard last week.
Now we have team coverage on the investigation and the heartbreaking aftermath. WECT's Zach Solon talked with police about the arrest and where the investigation stands tonight. Cassie Simmons talked with Durham's mother in an exclusive interview. We're going to start with Zach tonight. And Zach, even though Johnson is in jail, this investigation is far from over. Interestingly enough, we're told he got charged with the murder while already in jail.
That's right. John Antonio Johnson was charged late last week with violating a domestic violence protective order. I'm told that case involves a different victim, is unrelated to Misha Durham's case. Meanwhile, detectives are still trying to figure out exactly what happened to Misha Durham. A security guard found Misha Durham dead here at Godwin Stadium on the morning of April 11th. This week, police charged Antonio Johnson with killing her. Lieutenant Leslie Irving with the Wilmington Police Department says while Johnson is the only suspect, detectives are still looking for more answers.
They're still working on a timeline to confirm what the medical examiner thinks was her time of death when the actuality happened. So we're still trying to piece all the information together.
Irving says officers could not have pinned Johnson as a suspect without help from the community, help that can be hard to come by, especially in murder cases.
With the public help, we have had more and more success stories. But a lot of our unsuccessful stories that we have are outstanding homicide cases. Majority of them have had or happened in a public place, and we just don't have that tie-in or that buy-in with the public.
Johnson is charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. Investigators are not releasing a lot of details, like how Durham died, because they still have a lot of work to do.
We're not want to release a lot of the details of this case at this time because we remember this case has not been adjudicated. And even though we have made an arrest in this situation, we still have months of investigation that we have to go through and complete before before this case goes to trial.
Police say Johnson is the only person suspected of killing Durham, but the investigation remains open. I'm told detectives are waiting to hear back from the medical examiner to determine when exactly Durham died and how much time passed before her body was found. Reporting in Wilmington, Zach Solon, WECT News.
Now, we're also hearing tonight from Misha Durham's mother, who is grieving the loss of a second child in a matter of just 2 years.
Yeah, Debbie Burnett says she and her daughter had a close relationship. They talked every day, and the last week without her has been heartbreaking. WECT's Cassie Simmons talked with Burnett in an exclusive interview this afternoon. Cassie, she says she's struggling to cope with the news of her daughter's murder.
That's right, Fran. Burnett is thankful that the person accused of killing Misha is behind bars today and looks forward to the day Johnson faces trial. For now, though, she'll hold on to the 32 years of memory she still has with her daughter. Debbie Burnett says her daughter Misha Durham loved music more than almost anything. Durham graduated from a performing arts school in Nashville where she had the opportunity to sing at the Grand Ole Opry and audition for American Idol. After that, she turned to the military, joining the Navy for 2 years.
I state your full name.
I'm Misha Durham.
However, her life was cut short last week when she was murdered in Wilmington. Her mother, still grieving the loss of her son who died 2 years ago, is devastated.
I'm like, not again. Not again.
Heartbroken, Burnett looks forward to the day Antonio Johnson faces trial.
You know, you still mess with my kids. And this guy killed her. And it had to be very, very brutal.
In the meantime, she can only hold on to the memories of Misha and their 32 years together on Earth. How do you want her memory to live on?
That smile and how happy she would make people feel. And she always laughed, always carried a Bible. She really loved God.
Durham leaves behind her 10-year-old son, who Burnett says was her one true love in life. Burnett hopes to plan a funeral for her daughter this weekend and may plan a second service here in Wilmington for her friends that live here to attend. Cassie Simmons, WECT News.
We have new details tonight on a shooting last night at a Bojangles restaurant in Burgaw. This newly released video shows 4 people police say are the suspects in the shooting. You can see them walk through the doors of the restaurant, go toward the cash register. Investigators say an argument started inside the restaurant, ended outside with the shots being fired. One person hit by gunfire drove himself to the hospital, is expected to be okay. Several bullets also hit the restaurant. You can watch this video once again inside this story on our website.
Breaking news right now, crews are battling a large woods fire in Leland. This is a live picture from the scene on Grayson Parkway in the Grayson Park neighborhood. We're told the fire is contained. Leland Fire and Rescue and the North Carolina Forestry Service are on the scene. No details at this hour on how this fire started. No reports of any injuries or damage to any buildings. We're working to get more information and will continue to follow this story. Those warm and dry conditions make for dangerous brush fire conditions. However, it's a perfect recipe for a day at the beach. This is Surf City, where plenty of people have enjoyed the sand today. Eric, it's going to be hot the next few days, but there could be some rain in the forecast.
Yeah, the rain probably arriving just in time for the weekend. I don't think the weekend's going to be a washout by any stretch, but we are going to introduce the chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly Saturday afternoon, and probably your best rain chance, if we're lucky, maybe Saturday night while folks are asleep. But there's no signs of any rain at the moment. West Shore Home First Alert Sky Camera Network showing full sunshine, 83 degrees as we take a look into downtown Wilmington, the view from the Murchison building. It is a bit breezy, so we have a breeze out of the south-southwest at 13 miles per hour. Look at the humidity, 24%. That definitely tells you probably should not be doing any burning outside right now. For the rest of tonight, mostly clear skies. Temperatures quickly falling through the 70s into the 60s after midnight, and then likely upper 50s as you wake up tomorrow morning. But yeah, another very warm day coming up tomorrow. I'll have all the details in a few moments.
The first steps taken, or shovels of dirt moved, toward a new Martin Luther King Community Center at Elizabethtown. Leaders broke ground today on what will be an 11,000 square foot center, complete with a playground, indoor event space, and commercial kitchen. The center is located in the Newtown section of Elizabethtown on Martin Luther King Drive between Durham and Mill Streets. Should be done by this time next year.
An update now on the city of Wilmington possibly buying the Thermo Fisher building downtown. Those plans are moving forward tonight. City Council approved financing for the $70 million purchase. They plan to cover some of that cost by selling other properties and leasing floors or office space. There would also be a property tax increase of 1.5 cents. Several people who attended yesterday's meeting weren't too happy about that and had concerns about a lack of demand for office space, saying the city wouldn't be able to cover the annual cost to operate the building. The city could own the property in the next few months.
New details also in the effort to bring the lakes back to Boiling Spring Lakes. The engineer on the reconstruction project has recommended town commissioners go with a bid submitted by Sequoia Services out of Greensboro. It's for more than $46 million to rebuild the dams that Hurricane Florence destroyed back in 2018. Now, the next step in this process will come May 1st, when town commissioners hope to meet with the engineers and the contractor and be able to ask any questions they may have about the work that will need to be done. Leaders could then vote the next day, May 2nd, to officially select the contractor and begin negotiations.
Next week, you're invited to check out the new New Hanover County Government Center. There's a ribbon cutting and grand opening celebration Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's been open for a couple of weeks. This is just a formal ceremony. You can stop in to see the county services available to you. The new Government Center is next to the old one on Government Center Drive off Racine Drive.
People who live in Belleville and want to be involved with the town, well, the deadline to apply for the town's Parks and Rec Board is now extended. You can apply online or in person at Belleville Town Hall. The term is for 2 years, actually starts next month. The deadline now extended to May 16th. Have you ever complained about roads in your community?
A new report shows it's a real problem and it could get worse.
You're watching WECT News at 6.
A friendly reminder tonight, call before you dig. This picture posted by Wilmington's fire department after crews recently responded to a pair of gas leaks caused by people digging. They say call 811 so you can be sure that no matter how shallow or deep you dig, your dig will be done safely. Smoke alarms save lives. We saw that last week when a man escaped his burning home thanks to being awakened by a smoke alarm.
But a lot of families don't have one, or it simply doesn't work. When it comes to those working smoke alarms, you need to have one on every level of a home. Some homes have them in several rooms. They should be tested frequently to ensure that they're working properly, and batteries should be replaced at least once a year. It's also important to replace smoke alarms every 10 years. Otherwise, you can risk not having a working one when an emergency occurs. The American Red Cross and New Hanover County Fire Departments are going house to house in the Kings Grant area on Saturday to ensure people have working smoke alarms, and they could use some extra hands.
We're still looking for volunteers for this Saturday, so if you'd like to come volunteer, you could sign up on soundalarm.org/ENC, or you can sign up there for a free appointment for smoke alarms.
If you don't live in the Kings Grant neighborhood but would like to get yours checked, you can. We have a link where you can sign up for an appointment in this story on the WECT News app.
If you're looking for the home COVID tests, more free ones are available. North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services announcing a change to the Project Access COVID test program. You have from now until the end of June to request tests. Every household will receive 2 kits with 5 tests per kit. Typically, you'll get it within a week of ordering one. And you can put a new order in for tests once a month for the rest of the program. You can put your order in now. Go to the link inside this story on our news app.
A pair of bills introduced in the North Carolina House aim to allow poll watchers at voting locations during elections. New Hanover County Representative Ted Davis is a sponsor of both of the bills. One bill aims to allow poll watchers from eligible political parties to observe polling locations during early voting and on Election Day. The poll watchers would be appointed by the chairs of county political parties. The other bill seeks to allow poll watchers to observe procedures as voting places are being set up before voters are allowed inside.
A new report shows more Wilmington major roadways are not making the grade. That report collected state and federal data says that 16% of the area's roads are in poor condition. That is tied with the Charlotte metro area for the highest percentage of any area in North Carolina. And even worse, funding to upgrade roads is drying up. We'll dive into the report, what it could mean for drivers around here on WECT News at 11.
All right, 87 the official high in Wilmington today. We're going to be at similar levels, it looks like, over the next couple of days, but a cold front does begin to drop temperatures by the weekend and early next week. We'll have all the details next.
Here's meteorologist Eric Davis with your first alert forecast.
All right, as we take a look at our latest forecast map, we do have a frontal system which will be approaching the area here as we head towards the weekend and pushing its way towards the Carolinas, and that's going to bring a chance of some rain. Not a washout, but some rain excuse me, to the forecast as we head towards especially Saturday afternoon, but more likely Saturday evening and Saturday night. Now, notice the chance of rain is pretty low early in the day on Saturday, so if you have some outdoor plans, say first thing on Saturday morning, shouldn't be any major issues, but chance of rain does begin to rise a little bit here as we head towards Saturday afternoon. Saturday evening, chance of rain about 40%, but if we're lucky, the bulk of the rain may fall Saturday night while most of us are asleep, probably to the tune, maybe on average about a ½ inch to 1 inch of rainfall. And it looks like the rain basically out of here as we head towards Sunday. If you have Sunday plans outdoors, absolutely go with them. Also looks like some cooler weather arriving as we head towards Sunday. Now, again, the latest rainfall projection from our hour-by-hour forecast model. Nothing really through Saturday afternoon, but you can begin to see overnight Saturday. It looks like on average about a ½ inch to 1 inch of rainfall likely. And again, this has been a very good month so far for rainfall here in southeastern North Carolina. We've already seen over 3 inches of rain. We've got a 1 inch rainfall surplus. And for the most part, the abnormally dry and certainly drought conditions have ended across southeastern North Carolina. For tonight, no rain, mainly clear skies, very comfortable night, 58 degrees the overnight low. A little bit of isolated fog is possible with a light southerly wind around 5 miles per hour. And then on your Thursday, more toasty sunshine, very similar to today. High temperature around 86 degrees. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of our inland locations approach the 90-degree mark tomorrow afternoon. Needless to say, if you're going to be out for any length of time, it is very important that you are wearing sunscreen, SPF 30 or higher. Stay hydrated, and obviously make sure you're checking your seats, especially the back seats. You do not want to leave pets or kids in hot cars. Great conditions at Wrightsville Beach. This is the look at the West Shore Home First Alert Sky Camera Network. You can see just a gorgeous early evening down at Wrightsville Beach. Temperatures could not be any better. Even the water temperatures at this point are starting to rise. They're mostly in the upper 60s. At this hour, we have 83 in Wilmington for the air temperature. Oak Island a little bit cooler at 79. It is quite a bit cooler at North Myrtle Beach, 72, but mid-80s seem to be the common denominator around Elizabethtown and also along the I-95 corridor. Hour-by-hour forecast model showing the winds kind of lightening up a little bit here tonight. Temperatures likely in the 50s when you wake up tomorrow morning, so maybe a light windbreaker right when you first wake up. But there you can see temperatures well into the 80s tomorrow afternoon. If you're along the beaches, it looks like upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. And we're probably looking at pretty similar conditions here as we head towards Friday morning. Again, upper 50s and lower 60s, and maybe just a touch, and I emphasize a touch cooler on Friday afternoon. So 86 for tomorrow, 84 your high on Friday. Then the front arrives on Saturday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms become possible starting Saturday afternoon, but hopefully if we're lucky, the bulk of the rain falling Saturday night while we're asleep. Sunday, 74 degrees after a slim chance of a morning shower.
You know, it can be hard to believe, but today marks the 28th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. It was on April 19th, 1995. A truck filled with explosives destroyed a federal building there and claimed lives.
168 people died, 19 of them children under the age of 6. A jury convicted Timothy McVeigh for the attack. He died and was executed for it 6 years later. Still remember that morning, not long after, I think 10 o'clock our time. And what I remember about it is it was one of the first experiences of domestic terrorism that so many people had ever experienced in this country.
And still the deadliest in the history of this country. And what I remember most is how it made me feel. After we found out who was behind it all, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, I remember thinking, they look normal. I mean, anybody could have done that. They looked like normal human beings. In reality, they were monsters, and that's a day that we will never forget, and today marks 28 years.
Yeah, I remember thinking, why? Why park that out there, and with a school inside, or a daycare, I forget which one it was, inside the building, so many young kids' lives taken. And then when all the smoke and the debris cleared, you remember seeing the damage done to the building, and just it's one of those that just will never leave what's in your mind. The image is seared in your mind even now 28 years later.
Seared in your mind, and still hurts that it happened here in America. We'll be right back.
We're looking ahead to next month when WECT hits the road for the return of Highway 6. We'll be live in Chadburn Friday, May the 5th for the North Carolina Strawberry Festival.
Our live coverage will begin on Carolina in the morning at 6 o'clock and continue throughout the day until 6 in the evening. So make sure you come out and say hello to us at the North Carolina Strawberry Festival on May 5th. The Strawberry Festival is always a lot of fun. Okay, Eric, we've got to have good weather.
Yeah, we hope the weather looks a lot like it will the next 2 days. That means highs in the mid-80s. That means lots of sunshine and 0% rain chances. That begins to change over the weekend as a cold front moves in. Watch out for some scattered thunderstorms Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, but we're clearing out Sunday. Cooler weather early next week.